Uh, Welcome to gyanniketanonline. I am Dr. Pandey, an English teacher of Gyan, and today I am going to teach a theme of beauty by John Keats. Now, before we come to the lines of the poem, let us first know about the background of the poem. And the social background, socio-political background, the things that gave birth to this. So, John Keats is uh, an eminent romantic poet. He is an eminent romantic poet of the second epoch of romanticism in English literature. The first phase was that of Shakespeare. It is well known as the Shakespearean age or the Elizabethan age. Because of various reasons, especially because of the towering personality of William Shakespeare as a literary genius and of Queen Elizabeth as a political force in England. The age could not be called the Romantic age. It remained as the age of Shakespeare or the age of Elizabeth, but actually it was a romantic, the first romantic phase in English literature. I want to speak more about Shakespeare, though he is supposed even as yet to be the greatest romantic poet and dramatist in English literature. And some people say that perhaps John Keats would have been like William Shakespeare if he would have got a long life. Uh, this only shows how talented a romantic poet John Keats was, that people thought that he would have been perhaps the second Shakespeare. Well, now I am coming to this phase of romanticism, which is famous as the Romantic age in English literature. Now, see about the background. My professor, Dr. Shankar Dutt, believes and has taught us that liberty was the watchword of this romanticism. Liberty, because in the classical age, what had happened? In the classical age, they were following certain rules and regulations rather strictly, and they believed that they were of divine rules and regulations, discovered rules and regulations, and poetry should not break those laws. Alexander Pope, the greatest poet of the classical age, says those rules discovered, not devised. Like this, he says, was nature still, but nature methodized. So he said that it was also nature, natural, but methodized nature. This methodization, this artificiality in literature and artificiality in life, both were challenged in that age. So that age was the age of both romantic revolt and romantic revival. So a spirit of liberty was at work. And as the spirit of liberty was at work, William Wordsworth, slightly older, contemporary and slightly older in age to John Keats. He says about the French Revolution that it was very heaven to be young at that age. And in 1789, the French Revolution took place. Think about Jean-Jacques Rousseau. He says that man is born free, but everywhere he is in the bondages. And against this bondage was this romantic epoch, of which the first two great stalwarts, great literary poets were Wordsworth and Coleridge. Wordsworth was born in 1770 and John Keats was born in 1795. Wordsworth was 19 years old when the French Revolution of 1789 took place, and John Keats was born some 6 years after that, the revolution, about 6 years. Now, John Keats, as there was a close, companion or rival of Wordsworth, of Samuel Taylor Coleridge, so with John Keats were Lord Byron and P.B. Shelley. Yet, John Keats did not only make his mark, but excelled in various ways, in various fields of poetic creations. Now, good guys, good students, you have understood the background in which he was born and in which he wrote. Now, let me tell, he was born in 1795 and passed away in 1821, some 6 years, 26 years survived, and created such things. Now, something more about romanticism before we enter the lines. A line about the poet himself again, that he was trained for medical sciences. His training was to be a physician, but he chose to be a poet. He loved poetry so much that he left that field of being a physician and chose the field, a more economically a strugglesome field of being a poet. And he was not very rich. He was not like Shelley, having a very rich financial background. We will have first to accept that it was a true and very sincere poetic urge, creating an urgency in him to become a poet. So we should certainly hope something very great from such a poet. Now, sweet guys, he wrote several epics. And this a thing of beauty which you have in your class 12, or that is also from one of his epics named Endymion. It is in various cantos. It is a long poem. Now, before I come to this again, a few lines about romanticism. This word comes from Rome, and they say Rome was not built in a day. Or perhaps if I shun chauvinism, I will have to accept that the moral and material culture that was developed in Rome, which was an outcome of the Greek wisdom. From Greek came Latin, and in Latin language, with Greek as the mother, as the guiding force or supporting force, rose the culture that is the Roman culture. Or perhaps in its moral aspects, perhaps the Indian culture would have been higher or what. It's a matter of debate. But in its material culture, perhaps it even surpassed India. So they say Rome was not built in a day, and all roads go to Rome, but students. So the ways of Rome, what was there in Rome? Liberty. Some of you might have known about Julius Caesar. And in Julius Caesar, you saw that Julius Caesar was killed by Brutus for the sake of liberty. So Romans enjoyed the freedom of the citizens. They loved it very highly. Liberty, freedom of spirit, and pursuit of beauty, and emotional development resulting into deep love. So love, beauty, and liberty. These three things make what is romanticism. And since it is natural for human beings, nature underlines entire romanticism. You can't think of romanticism without an ample touch of nature in the writing. So this much is enough for you. Now let me come to the lines. Now you see, these are the first few lines, opening lines of the epic Endymion. John Keats says, "A thing of beauty is a joy forever." Endymion has been inspired by the Greek story of Cynthia. The Greek story of Cynthia. Now, who was Cynthia? Cynthia was the spirit of the moon. The spirit of moon was Cynthia, And Endymion was a shepherd who fell in love with this spirit of moon, the goddess moon, Cynthia. But it was not possible for him to reach Cynthia because Cynthia was in the sky and he was on the Latmos mountain grazing his sheep, tending his sheep. He was a shepherd. But he saw the reflection of the moon in some water body and entered, watered in the quest of the moon. Now this inspires John Keats to write this poem. You may raise a question, a very genuine question, that what is inspiring in this? Should we fall in the quest of something and get drowned? Well, this is to be understood. This is where John Keats is exclusive. You can't understand this unless you understand the negative capability of John Keats, and it would be a crime for me if I go ahead without explaining what the negative capability is. But we don't have much scope for that. In nutshell, you understand. The thing is that when you are in the quest of, I am giving reference to something that you have perhaps already read. Sylvia Plath's of The Mirror, you have already perhaps read in class 10, as you have read something of Julius Caesar perhaps in class 10. Sylvia Plath, she has written The Mirror. The last line is, in this mirror she has drowned a young girl, and now a terrible ship is coming out, opening its mouth, trying to devour her. Well, here lies the point. She drowned herself in that mirror. Means she gave her life watching mirror. So one who gives his life, one who gives his life to the pursuit of a thing of beauty is one who has drowned himself into that quest, into that pursuit. Understand? So a person who pursues a thing of beauty so passionately, ego, etc., are drowned into it, and they don't come in the way of the creation of that art. Such people are those people who really pursue a thing of beauty. So a thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases. It will never pass into nothingness. Here is another point. How will a thing of beauty not pass into nothingness? You see, people get infatuated, love each other, and then get bored and look for divorce. What happened? Why couldn't the thing of beauty remain a joy forever? Because John Keats says a thing of beauty is a joy forever, its loveliness increases. He doesn't say its beauty increases. Here he chooses the word loveliness. And when a poet of the stature of John Keats says this, when a poet of that stature says this thing, he It is, he doesn't say it without nothing. There are reasons for this when he says such thing. So beauty is generated by love. Once they say that a queen had asked his maid servant to bring the most beautiful boy from a school that was before her palace, and she bought the ugliest looking boy, and the queen was quite angry, and the king had to intervene. And when the king came to know that that ugly looking boy was actually the son of the maid servant, the king said that she had done no sin, because looking through the eyes of that mother, who was more beautiful than of that boy? Understand? Her son. So, good guys, a thing of beauty is a joy forever. It is a joy forever if the loveliness increases. When the beauty generates love, the love generates further beauty, and that beauty again generates love, again beauty, a chain reaction, and that's where the loveliness keeps on increasing, and the joy coming from its pursuit keeps on increasing. And as a student of science he has been, he says that an increasing thing can't pass into nothingness. For its passing into nothingness, it should be decreasing, but it is an increasing thing. So you have got the background, you have got entrance into the poem. I am sorry that we could not have concluded all that in such a short span. So again, if I come, I will further discuss things. Thank you.
देखिए पिछले वाला क्या पढ़ाए थे।